Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, my group mates Alia Ilina, Izrina Wanti, Nur Aida Hanani, and myself, Nur Natasha, will be presenting about new media and Muslim extremist group. So, we will start with the definition of new media. New media are those digital media that are interactive, incorporate two-way communication, and involve in some form of computing. And according to Elgin 2010, new media are very easily processed, stored, transformed, retrieved, hyperlinked, and easily searched for, as well as being accessed by anyone. So as we know, when we Google something, thousands of images, videos, and articles related to things that we Googled will come out. So, okay, moving on. Extremist group is a group of individuals whose values, ideals, and beliefs fall far outside from what society considers normal. And an extremist group is often associated with violent tactics to convey their point to outsiders. So they are very aggressive when they want people to receive what they believe in. Next, Muslim extremist group. Muslim extremist group is a group of individuals who use violent tactics such as bombing, assassination to achieve what they perceive as Islamic goals. And according to these people, a violent struggle, which they refer to as jihad, is the best way to accomplish the pure Islam and to return to the pure Islam. And they will actually struggle violently against everyone who disagree with their interpretation of what is pure Islam. Okay, so as we can see here, the examples of Muslim extremist groups. So we have Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, commonly known as ISIS, ISIL, or Daesh, which started from Iraq and Syria. And then we have Al Qaeda, which is huge in Afghanistan and Pakistan. And then Boko Haram in Nigeria, Hamas in Gaza Strip, and Pakistani Taliban in Pakistan. And in Southeast Asia, Jemaah Islamiyah is very popular and very known for as an extremist group. Okay, next we need to know the characteristics of Muslim extremist group. So the first one is they always emphasize jihad. So according to these people, jihad is actually fardu ain, an obligation for every Muslim, individual obligations for every Muslim. And if you are incapable to go to armed jihad, you need to contribute in other means, such as financing the group or even spreading the propaganda. You need to be involved no matter what, because it is a fardu ain, it is an individual obligation. And then the next one is they also demand Muslims to show loyalty to them, because they believe that they are the true believers of Islam, and Muslims need to show loyalty to the believers and turn away from the disbelievers, which is their enemy. And in general, they refer the West as their enemy. And then the next one is they also justify violence. And we know that jihad is not necessarily related to something that is violence, but for these people, jihad is exclusively related to something violence attack. And we know that struggling with our own nafsu is also a jihad, but not for them. They don't consider that as jihad. And this is how they justify violence, because in Islam we are told to do jihad, and jihad in their opinion, in what they believe in, is violence act. So that is how they justify violence. And then they're also always cherry picking religious texts. And in ISIS propaganda, they use this one verse, which translated to kill the pagans, infidels, and unbelievers wherever you found them. And they use this verse, Quranic verse, which translated unorthodoxly into that, and they receive that as the interpretation, which is not accurate. And they also ignore every Quranic verses that prevail peace, because they always cherry pick religious texts. They only pick religious texts that can justify their acts of violence. So yeah. Okay, moving on to the history of modern Muslim extremism. It all started in 1968 until 1979, and this era is called the dawn of modern Muslim extremism. It started with the failed post-colonial attempts at state formation and the creation of Israel, which caused the growth of this nationalist movement. And these movements believe that terrorism is the only way that they can use to achieve their political goals effectively. And then in 1979 until 1991, some of the states start to sponsor the extremists and the terrorists. And Iraq and Syria, the states that were very heavily involved in supporting various terrorist and extremist groups. And this state, they use these terrorist groups to attack their enemies. So they use these groups that they sponsored to attack Israel and Western interests, in addition to domestic and regional opponents. And in 1991 until 2001, this era is called the globalization of terror. And this is when the bombing of World Trade Center during 1993 and attacks of the World Trade Center and Pentagon during 2001 happened. And this happened because the increase of willingness of religious extremists to strike targets outside of the original country and regional areas. Now let's see the first Muslim extremist attack recorded, which happened in 1979 when the state started to sponsor this terrorist and extremist group. So the first Muslim extremist attack recorded is Grand Mosque seizure. It happened in Makkah, Saudi Arabia. And this attack is by the Muslim extremist called Ikhwan. It occurred during November and December 1979 when armed civilians calling for the overthrow of the House of Saudi, who took over Masjidil Haram during that time. And 400 to 500 insurgents were involved, including women and children. And there are so many casualties during this attack. 117 insurgents killed, while unknown number is wounded because there are so many insurgents wounded, and 127 militaries killed, and 451 were injured in this attack. And 68 of the head of this attack were executed. And then moving on to the worst ever Muslim extremist attack in the world, which is the September 11 attacks in 2001. So there are 3 attacks happened in the same day. The first attack was when 2 Boeing 767 planes crashed into the north and the south tower of World Trade Center in New York City. And this caused 2,763 killed and other 6,000 people were injured during the first attack. And the second attack happened when the American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon in Virginia, which led to partial collapse of the building in the west side. And there are 189 people killed and other 106 injured in this attack. And the last attack is when United Airlines Flight 93 crashed into a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and all the 44 people on the flight were unfortunately killed in this attack. So yeah, this is the worst attacks ever recorded by the Muslim extremists. So what we know from the series of 9/11 attacks, it is believed that the attacks is financed by Al-Qaeda terrorist organization, and the hijackers of the planes, the 4 planes, were Islamic terrorists from Saudi Arabia and several other Arab nations. And these attacks actually actually triggered more extremist and terrorist attacks around the world, because this attack motivate other extremists and terrorists, because they show how much destruction they did to the enemies. So yeah, the other extremists were motivated to do the same. And then this brings us to the latest attack by the Muslim extremists, which is in Kabul, Gurdwara. So it happened during COVID prayers. It is very unfortunate. This happened 3 months ago during in 25th March 2020, where suicide bombers and assailants armed with guns attacked the Gurdwara Har Rai Sahib, a Sikh shrine in Kabul, Afghanistan. And the Islamic extremist militant organization Islamic State of Iraq and Levant, ISIL, has claimed responsibility for this attack, and there are 25 people killed and other 8 injured in this attack. So yeah, I think that's all from me. I pass the slide to the next presenter.